Yeah, my name is Ifeoluwa, and in this video, I'm going to be building and deploying a complete WordPress infrastructure using Docker, Terraform, and GitLab uh, on AlmaLinux 9.6. So I'm going to be taking it section by section. Here to install Alma 9.6 on our virtual machine. I already have my virtual machine set up using VMware Workstation. And if I go to this index, I'm going to see a lot of Harman Linux versions. So here we're going to be selecting the Harman 9.6 minimal ISO, which gives us uh, a lightweight package that doesn't involves a lot of graphical interface because we are going to be using it as a server. So this is going to be selected, and it's currently downloading. We're just going to wait till that gets downloaded. So I'm going to pause this video and continue once the download is complete. Complete. So what I'll do is to reboot the system. So it's going to reboot the system to load some configurations. So once that is done, then we can now move to the second phase, which is to configure the network. So basically, I'm going to log in now. So now I'm in my roots localhost. So first thing I want to do is to identify my network interface card name. So I'm going to do IPA. So yeah, I have uh, my interface card. I'm going to run the network management command line. So I'm going to run sudo nmcli con show. So it shows that I have one virtual network card, the NX160, and I'm going to make use of that. So to check, I can also check from my system where I run ncpa.cpl. Going to be seeing a VM network card. Yeah, they are currently unidentified. So I'm going to assign an IP to this network card. So first, one thing I do is to ping an available IP. So I'm going to ping this IP I want to use to see if it's returning something. So it means it's available to use for me. So I'm going to now run a command sudo nmcli con mod. So I'm going to modify this network card to that IP address. So I'm going to run IPv4 dot addresses 192.168.1.20 slash 24. So I've created my IP address with a CIDR block of 24. So the next thing is to apply my gateway to it. So I'm going to run nmcli on mod enx160. So rather than doing this, I just load this up and give it .1 here and gateway. Then click on OK. So the next is to configure DNS. So I'm going to do the same. In this case, we are using Google DNS, and Google DNS is 8.8.8.8. That's the primary. Then set up an alternative DNS of 8.8.4.4. And I'm going to put it because there's a space in between. I'm going to do it this way. Then so I have my DNS set up, and next thing is to tell the uh, command line manager that this is a manual not automatic, so it doesn't change. So because the default is DSCP, so we don't want it to change whenever the network goes down, and that's address become available. So when set it to manual, then the next thing is sudo to now bring it up con up. So this is the command. I'm actually looking at the documentation to get this. So I'll see connection successfully activated. So what we want to do now is to um, verify um, what we've done, the DNS. So then when I'm done with that, I'm going to be setting up the host name also. So first, do a cat etc to check. I'm going to check if uh, the configurations are right. So my name server is 8.8. So the Google name servers are right. So I should be able to see my. I should be able to get a response from Google. So I can see the time to live it's returning. So I can't leave it on metered. Oh, yeah, so I can see my time to live. So the next thing I want to do is to set up an host name, right? So I'm going to do that now. So I'm going to assign a custom local host name. So what I'm going to do now is host name CTL sets host name to WP lab. That's the WordPress lab. What's local? So I can also use the echo command to do this. So the next step is to set up a basic firewall configurations. The configurations are enabled, but I would need to allow SSH, HTTP, and HTTPS. So going to run system CTL enable firewall D. So and I'm going to do firewall cmd. So I'm going to I'm going to allow the HTTP SSH and HTTPS permanent by running this command add service. So it shows that is already enabled. I'm going to do the same thing to for the HTTP success and HTTPS. Then I'm going to reload. So success. So I can now list all. So here I can see my interface and I can see the services that are up. So I've updated this. So the next step is for me to install the Yum package manager, which I'm going to I'm going to do. But before then, I would need to do a yum update. So let's do yum update. So it's going to update and apply the latest yum security patch. So once that is done, I'm going to reboot the system. Then I'm going to install Docker. So I'm going to update the yum package manager. It's currently updating. So we just wait a for some few minutes to get this up. So I'm going to pause this till the installation is done. So Docker is done installing, and I've also enabled Docker. So from the version, you can see the Docker version. So basically, what we're going to do now is to going to create a Docker network. So dedicated network so that the containers can communicate internally using the internal DNS. So I'm going to do Docker network create WP net. So for the purpose of this, it's I didn't say that from the beginning. It's actually quite important to create a user aside the root user. So I'm basically using the root user because of for demonstration sake. So just to clarify that. So I'm going to run Docker network list just to see. So you can see my bridge and my WP net is also on the bridge driver. So next is to create host directories. So these directories are where we are going to store the uh, WordPress files and the database persistently. We're going to store them on the host. So I'm going to make the URL. Um, I'm going to store the uh, WordPress into the hosts folder, WordPress HTML, and I'm going to do same for DB. Then I'm going to change the modifier. So there's a root access into the WordPress for directory. So I'm going to do shmod change modifier 777 hops WordPress. Then I'm going to first I want to check one moment. So we're to install fully Docker image and from Apache run MySQL MariaDB. Okay, so basically going to Docker pull MariaDB latest. So I'm going to put MariaDB and yeah. So I'm going to be creating a Docker file that defines the custom Apache and PHP image with the extension that will be required by the WordPress. So basically, I'm going to create a Docker file. So in the docker.web directory, so I'm going to v into the Docker file. So this is the command I'm going to run. So I'm just going to go back, clear this, and now I'm going to build this into the same directory. So I'm going to run Docker build WP web PHP 83. So dot So it's going to be this in the same directory. So once it's done, I'm going to verify if this image has been created. So then when I'm done, if data has been created, I'm now going to run the a container from that image. So we have our container properly functional. So we wait till the image gets built. So I'm going to pause this. Yeah, so we can see that the Docker image is loaded. So basically, uh, I made some adjustment to the configuration file, which is better, and you can then run the Docker image. Then I can now verify the image. So we can see that we have our image already set up now. So now what we want to do is we are going to do the web some certain web container validation in the next section. So which is the section 3. So we're going to connect to the web server container, and then we'll do some DevOps and infrastructure as a code. So I'm going to pause this. So uh, so next, now that we've built our image, I'm going to run the container. So I'm going to do Docker run minus d name wp web. That's be our container name. Network would be wp net. Yeah. So I'm going to map the port 80 to my host ports, and I'm going to map the HTTPS ports also to my host ports, and I'm going to mount this to my host storage for data persistence also. So it's www cml, then wp web to PHP. Use the image I downloaded. So once that is done, now we're going to run some sort of a container validation, and I'll do that with Docker exec. Yeah, bash. So now I'm in my container. So I'll check for the Apache version. So we can see that we have a Debian Apache version 2.4. Then I'm going to check my PHP version also, and it's confirmed. So I'm going to exit. So the next is to validate our database content. We have our MariaDB running. So and the version is 12.1. So the next section is now the DevOps part. So I'm going to quickly check what was asked. So we meant to download and extract WordPress files to the directly Git. Okay, so going to first thing we do is we download and extract WordPress. So I'm going to cd to opt WordPress HTML. So then going to call WordPress from their site to extract that or tar using the tar command dot tar dot gz. So I'm going to download it uh, tgz. So then I'm now going to start star z x z x xzf latest dot tar dot gz. So it's going to unwrap it. So once that is done, then I'm going to move it to WordPress. So I'm going to move it to WordPress in the current directory. Then I'm going to remove the zip file, tgzip file to give us space. Okay, I've downloaded the WordPress in the host directory, and so the next thing I want to do is to so I need to fix the ownership. So I'm going to do sudo install. So I'm going to fix the ownership inside the Apache container. So WordPress HTML. So next thing I want to do is to configure the WordPress to talk to our database container. So what I'm going to do is I'll copy the HTML. Now copy the WP config sample.php to WP config.php. So next thing I'm going to do is to now edit the DB settings. So here's what I'm going to do. So if I navigate to after successfully binding, so if I navigate to 192 HTTP 192.1.20. So I'm going to get my word. It's opening PHP now, so I can just select continue, and it asks me to create some site information. The next section is the section 4, where I'm meant to the section yeah 4. Where I'm meant to create a CI/CD pipeline that pulls the code from the repository and download the WordPress files to a directory. So we are going to work on that now. So I'm going to take a pause. So initializing my Git. So first thing I want to check is my Git version. So I can see that I have a Git version of 2.473. So it means we're good to go. So what I want to do next is to generate an SSH key. So I'm going to do that keygen minus t ed 9. So I'm going to generate an SSH key. I'll name it WP lab. It's WordPress lab. Oh, sorry. So the pair is generated, and I'm going to cat to initialize my Git. So this is still similar environment. I actually had to SSH to use terminals to continue this project. This is basically the environment I make use of. So I'm going to initialize the Git by cd into the opt directory, WordPress HTML, and I'll initialize git init git status to check. Okay, then I'm going to add git remote add origin. So I'm going to copy my SSH, my GitLab SSH. I'm going to click here and copy from here just to I'm going to come back here and paste here. I think I'm good. Git complete global. So I'm going to run my GitHub origin back, and I next thing is for me to check if this worked. So this worked, added to origin. So my next is to commit to GitLab using the git command. I'm going to git hard git commit minus m WordPress deployment Docker. That's a lot of power. Then I'm going to branch it on the main, and I push. So I push my commits to the main repository. So we'll wait for a while. So it pushes every file to the every WordPress file to the repository. Shouldn't take long. And so the next is to write a pipeline configuration when this is done. So I'm going to write a CI pipeline that will automatically download WordPress and also create a clean repository. And um, we are told to, so I'm going to confirm from my GitLab now if this is there. So we can see the WordPress file folder here in the GitLab. So shows that we are right on track. So I'm going to write a CI/CD pipeline for a CI pipeline for this. So I'm going to just quickly check. We're told to create a CI/CD pipeline using GitHub that pulls code from a repository and download the WordPress file. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ls into this. So I'm going to clear this up and create a YAML file. So GitLab touch just be GitLab CI.yaml. So I'm going to write a little bit of configuration. So the first thing is stages. Basically, the pipeline runs a job that downloads the latest WordPress release, then extracts it into a folder, and then saves that folder as a GitLab artifact so it can be used later in the pipeline or downloaded. So the first thing we want to do is to define our pipeline stage. So I'm going to define the pipeline stage. So I'm going to create one single stage called build. So the jobs that are assigned to this stage are run during the field base. So I define a single stage and it's going to contain the job that prepares the WordPress. So now I'm going to now work on my job. So I'm going to build a job named WordPress. So this is the this is the job name. So uh, GitLab will show it in the pipeline. So I'm going to give it an image. So the image is going to be Alpine. So this is the environment. So the Alpine Linux. So it's small and fast, easy for simple tasks. So Alpine is lightweight. So whatever is going to be installed, it's going to be Alpine Linux lightweight. So the next is the scripts that we execute every one of this command. So I'm going to set first APK. So this is my script configuration. So I'm going to add tar. So Alpine uses APK as its configuration, as its package manager, and call would download the WordPress and extract it into uh, archive. Then I'm now going to deploy the WordPress by making a directory. So I'll do make dir -p. So this will ensure that whatever If the folder exists, it would ignore. So to avoid error, so it will prompt to avoid. It will not prompt it to avoid error. So then I'll call my downloads from the latest. So from WordPress.org, which is the site. .gz. So this is going to save these hotels call to save the file with the same name as on the server. So it's going to then download it directly from WordPress.org. Then the tar is going to extract the latest. It's going to extract the latest. So after the extractions, the WordPress would appear in the folder. So the next one is to now move the WordPress folder into the output folder, which I'm going to use using the move command. So then lastly is to save the build. So artifacts are files GitLab stores after the job completes, basically. So going to store in this part. So I hope I'm right with my indentation. So basically, so this is going to store the generated WordPress directory as an artifact, so it can be reused for deployments or downloaded for whatever verification. So um, so I'm going to save this. So it's saved with this. Is the Terraform, install Terraform on your system. So the next is the infrastructure as a code. So that is the next step. Installing Terraform. So first, what we want to do is I'll be using the Yum configuration manager to download it from the HashiCorp repo and install. So I have the part here, so I'm just going to run this. So once this is gotten, I do then I install Terraform. So then we wait for a while. We wait for a while. So once that is installed, so I'm going to pause this to allow it install. Once it's installed, I play it back. Installed. So I'm going to cd into the main.tf. So here you can see the expression. The first line talks about tells Terraform to use the Docker provider, so it's allows Terraform to communicate with the local Docker daemon. So this second line is the network resources, where we create a custom Docker bridge network. So it helps to maintain container to container communications via internal DNS, just like uh, how we what we set up in the last part. Then we have the container for database using MariaDB. So this pulls and runs the official MariaDB image, and once it's done, it names the container this. It gives the container this name. Then this network advanced part attaches the DB container to the previously created network and enables a name resolution for it. Then we have our environment variables here that initialize it. And we now have the Apache web server container with the image and the name. Then we have the the advanced network advanced that helps place the web container on the same Docker network. So it allows the MariaDB communicates with the host to be able to connect. So essentially, all the things we've actually been doing uh, is step by step is what the Terraform as a configuration manager has actually with these few lines we can actually run this and explore what it does. So which I'm going to be showing us which I'm going to be showing us now. So um I'm going to move out of here and initialize the Terraform just by running Terraform init. So it's going to install Terraform. It's going to initialize Terraform. Then when it's done initializing, then we can proceed. Actually, so then we can validate. So Terraform has been initialized. So I'm going to run Terraform validate. So the validation is the configuration is valid. So I'm going to apply Terraform apply auto approve. So Terraform allows me to update infrastructure declaratively. So that's what we are basically doing, and can also cleanly destroy resources when it's no longer in use. So to modify, reapply, we run Terraform. It's needed. So modify this to I can modify also to config change PHP version or MySQL config. Okay, so change this to PHP versions. Let me just, So change this to version 82 is okay. Yeah. So it's at 82. So because I have um an image already pulled, so just to verify that I have this image. So I have the 82. So I'm going to do run my Terraform plan, then Terraform apply. Yes, so it's going to apply the configuration using the WordPress 82. So we can now verify that. So just to just confirm my submission. So we can see that WordPress is still up, and we're going to go back, and we can now destroy back Terraform, destroy auto auto approve. So it's been destroyed and completely, and we are finally done with the task. Thank you very much for following me to the end of this walkthrough. See you soon.